Cubs are back home after almost 2 weeks on the road and a 5-4 9-game trip. They return home and the right field bleachers are open tonight. It's the Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago Cubs, the first of a 4-game set here on Comcast Sportsnet. Great to have you with us. Alongside Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. So the Cubs doing all right. They're above 500, very much in a playoff mix here. And you're kind of still waiting for that big streak. Maybe this is the time they can start it.
Yeah, well, they weathered the storm 5-4 on that road trip. If they were tired at the end of the road trip, it didn't show. The bats broke out in a big way last night. And they have a chance to take advantage of a Cincinnati Reds ball club that is really banged up. It kind of looks like a spring training lineup that they're running out there these days.
Except for at first and third base. And when you look at these two teams, the corner spots, they're in very good hands.
Indeed they are. Anthony Rizzo, one of only 3 major leaguers with an OPS, on-base plus slugging, better than 1,000. Frazier was an all-star last year. Joey Votto, one of the best offensive players in all of baseball, is back in his game. And Chris Bryant ranks 20th in the National League in OPS with 853. Pretty good stuff for the rookie.
And all 4 guys in their respective lineups tonight. Michael Lorenzen will go for the Reds. Tsuyoshi Wada for the Cubs. The Bats last night put up a 12 spot, a season high in Detroit. They'll try to keep it going tonight back home at Wrigley.
AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
And welcome back, and we would like to also welcome all of our viewers watching on Dixon Telephone in Dixon, Iowa tonight. We do have a threat of rain and just a few sprinkles, but we will get this thing underway on time as left-hander Tsuyoshi Wada will pitch for the Cubs tonight. And he'll face this Reds Southwest starting lineup. They are banged up. We'll talk about their injuries as we move along tonight. Brandon Phillips day-to-day. Avante Jesus Jr. playing second tonight. We talked about Votto and Frazier in the open. Jay Bruce has been hot as of late. Brian Pena's done a nice job filling in for Devin Mesoraco. Chris Dominguez in left. Marlon Byrd is on the DL. Eugenio Suarez making his Reds debut. Zach Cozart done for the year. They've been batting their pitcher 8th as of late, so it's Lorenzen there and Christopher Negron in for Billy Hamilton in center.
Cubs defensively this evening. Chris Coughlin left, Dexter Fowler center, Junior Lake gets the start in right. Chris Bryant and Starlin Castro on the left side of the infield. Addison Russell, Anthony Rizzo on the right side. Miguel Montero behind the plate tonight, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher, Tsuyoshi Wada. 4 starts, First 3 were good. Last one was not good. He was a losing pitcher in that outing. So he's 0-1 with a 4.19. 19 in the third innings, 19 hits, 7 walks, 20 strikeouts. This is his second career start against Cincinnati. He made his major league debut against them last summer. He pitched well in that ball game. 5 innings of 5-hit baseball. Allowed 1 run. It was unearned.
There was a tweak to the umpiring rotation. We think this is correct. We'll go with it for now. The crew chief Ron Culpa's back to the plate. Hopefully no mea culpas tonight, right? Vic Carapazza's at first, Brian Knight at second, Toby Basner is at third.
Wada looking for a bounce back start. Last time out in Washington. A hit around 3 2/3, 9 hits, 5 runs. Walked a couple, had 1 strikeout.
Reds have won 4 in a row. That ties their season-long winning streak. They actually began the year 4-0. There's still 4 games under break even. The Cubs come in 5 over, and we're underway. That's the Wada fastball at 88 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's the point I failed to make in the open. I talked about the Reds and having this lineup that resembles a spring training lineup because they have so many injuries. But despite that, they've been playing good ball of late. 4-game winning streak. They've won 8 out of 12. They've scored 45 runs over the last 7 days. It's the best in the National League.
To manager Brian Price. To De Jesus, and it misses low. His first 2 career home runs have come this week, and a couple of big ones. This was yesterday in a win over the Phillies.
That's something the Reds do. Of course, they have a very good hitter's ballpark. They hit the ball out of the ballpark a lot. They've gone deep 70 times, second most in the NL.
Jesus, the son of former Cub shortstop and coach Ivan De Jesus Sr. Toward the front of the box, closer to the pitcher, as Wada does not throw very hard. Well, the good news is it's warmer than it was the last time we were here at Wrigley Field when it was in the 40s. 61 degrees, so sweatshirt weather and maybe a parka as well, with an east wind at 15.
Yeah, I said last night from Detroit that we were done with the ski cap, so I'm not wearing my ski cap tonight, but I kind of regret leaving it at home. Pitch on the plate, but down a little bit to De Jesus. Wada in that last start just did not have good finish on his pitches. Breaking ball was flat. Fastball did not have a lot of life.
Swing and the miss. Strike 3.
That's what we'd seen a fair bit of from Wada in his first 3 starts. And remember, he made his Cubs debut this year out in San Diego. Punched out 9, including 7 of the first 9 batters he faced. That was ultimately 4 2/3 innings, 9 strikeouts for Wada.
Now Joey Votto. More aggressive early in the count. He had a 3-homer game earlier this week. 3rd of his career. Has tied the club record, 3 3-homer games. Johnny Bench, the other to do that. Hit hard, but right at Anthony Rizzo. So Votto lines out. By the way, it is Dan Bellino at second. I am told that he is wearing Brian Knight's jacket. Thus the confusion. That's why.
So he like me, he's unprepared coming to the ballpark.
There's Dan, the Chicago native, but he's wearing Brian's coat.
Peter Chase in the press box just made the announcement. He's wearing Brian Knight's jacket.
Ooh, nice backhanded play by Russell as he gets Todd Frazier. That was not an easy play. They go down in order. 1, 2, 3. Here come the Cub bats. it. Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish Illinois. They did that last night as Dexter Fowle tripled to start the game in Detroit. Unfortunately, he would be stranded at third. The Cubs, however, would score 12 times the season high. Now the Cubs Southwest starting lineup: Fowler, Rizzo, Bryant at the top, Montero, Castro, Coughlin, the lefties there in the middle. Both hit homers last night. Lake, Wada, and Russell will round it out.
Normally the Cincinnati Reds have one of the best defenses in baseball up the middle. Don't know that much about these guys. Dominguez left, Negron center, Jay Bruce in right, Frazier, Suarez, De Jesus, Votto third to first. Brian Pena does the catching, and the Lexus starting pitcher for Cincinnati tonight is 23-year-old Michael Lorenzen, a rookie who's appeared in 8 games, 6 starts, 1-1 with a 3.29. Got a good arm, lively heater in the mid-90s. Slider, curve, and a change. Note the strikeout walk numbers. Success not sustainable if you continue to do that.
6'3", 205. As Fowler skies one to left. It's Chris Dominguez out there. He's got it. We're out number 1. Yeah, the Reds are getting younger in their rotation. Homer Bailey is out for the season. Tommy John surgery. Actually have another rookie on the DL, Raisel Iglesias. Recently released Jason Marquis. And here's Rizzo.
We'll get to Anthony DeSclafani in the rotation. We've seen him already. He's a youngin', as we like to say, out on the prairie. Rizzo not happy with Ron Culpa's call there on that running fastball.
Here's the 0-1. And it's outside, 95. Pretty free and easy mechanics from the tall right-hander. Yeah, interesting story. He was an outfielder in college at Cal State Fullerton. He had a little pop, some on-base skills. That ball driven out toward the alley, and it'll get down for Rizzo. And he's got a double.
There's a shocker. We're going to try a little breaking ball here. It's down about knee high. Rizzo just goes down and gets it and drives it off the wall on one hop. And originally they're throwing the arms up there thinking that ball was going to disappear in the ivy, but spit back out, so they had to play it. He was a closer in college, right?
Yeah, he was. He did not throw much senior year. He closed some games, 45 innings, actually 44 2/3 in college, and never did make a start. But the Reds pretty quickly after he joined their organization made him into a starter. That's at the knees, low part of the zone to jump ahead of Chris Bryant.
Well, I don't know if it was the Reds' intention, but it's a pretty smart move, right, to get a kid with this kind of arm that doesn't have the wear and tear coming out of college like a lot of guys.
Yeah, he hit 324 in college. So we'll have to keep an eye on him with the bat tonight as he is hitting 8th. Wouldn't be shocked if these two guys faced each other in college, right?
I was just thinking that very same thing.
University of San Diego and Cal State Fullerton.
They might even commiserated and discussed how much they disliked pitchers back in the day.
Outside.
Tried to shave that outside corner at 97. Lorenzen was a supplemental pick after the first round in 2013, the 38th overall pick in the draft that year.
Runner at second. 1 out, bottom of the first. Chris has not homered since May 26th.
Well, he popped one into the left field bleachers when they first opened. Maybe he'll shoot one out there to right tonight to greet those folks.
The bleachers filling up nicely as Bryant draws the walk. Something the Cubs do very well. They work a lot of deep counts. Tied for third in the majors in walks. They've got the second most strikeouts.
They did everything well offensively last night. Took some walks. Everybody in the lineup got in on the act. Hit a couple balls out of the ballpark, including one by Miguel Montero.
Miguel hit the ball hard all night, and he needed it. He admitted he had been a little bit in between. Maybe had been taking too many pitches and was a lot more aggressive last night and paid off. That's actually the Coughlin home run.
And Coughlin got one. Montero got one. Cubs scored 12 runs, banged out 15 hits.
Nine-run victory, their largest margin of victory this season. 2-0 now on Montero with Castro on deck.
Highlighted those walk numbers for Lorenzen in that graphic we showed. 22 walks, just 23 strikeouts in 38 innings. A couple of things could be at play there. One, he's got a lot of movement on his fastball, so he may be just having a hard time locating that fastball. And the other part of it is it's fairly common for young pitchers to be a little gun shy of the strike zone, especially once you get a couple guys on base, start pitching away from contact. He certainly has the stuff to be more aggressive.
Three and 0. Here it is, swinging away, and he fouled.
Welcome.
Three and 2.
That's the way to swing it. You're getting a hitter's count.
Rizzo at second, Bryant at first, not running, and Montero drives this one out into deep right center. Way back, gone, a 3-run homer. We said it last night. 3-run homers are good.
Lorenzen has allowed 7 home runs now in less than 39 innings of work. So the walks and the home runs, that's going to catch up to you. And Montero caught up to the heater. One fastball after another. And big league hitters are going to make you pay. When you get behind and you keep pumping fastballs, sooner or later they're going to catch up to one. There's your Ford home run replay. Miguel Montero going deep for the 8th time this year. 3 hits with a home run yesterday. Boy, he had really struggled for a good while. Looks like he's coming out of it.
Swing hard in case you hit it. And he did, and it's 3-0. And it's 2-0 on Starlin Castro.
Yeah, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy for a young pitcher. You give big league hitters too much credit, you work behind, then you ultimately do challenge, and they make you pay. And here he goes again behind Castro. A little cutter or slider there. That's a quality pitch.
This is 2-1. Chopper foul over the home dugout.
Starlin on the road trip. Hit 281, 9 out of 32. Had a long ball, a triple, a double, drove in 3. Not consistently driving the ball, but better results.
Strike 3 on the very outer edge for his first punch out.
Tough pitch just off that outside corner, but Culpa gives him a little wiggle room out there.
So we noticed last night Chris Coughlin, Anthony Rizzo, actually all the position players save for Miguel Montero were not wearing undershirts. And I got to the bottom of it today. It was Anthony Rizzo's idea. Thinking about the knock socks, pulling the pant bottoms up around the knees, doing something after they got shut out on Tuesday. And Rizzo decided it's hot out. Let's do the no undershirt thing. And
be picky though.
Chris Denorfia found out the last second he actually took his undershirt off in the dugout. Somebody went up to him and said, "You're the only guy who's wearing one."
Peer pressure.
So I had asked like 6 guys today. Brandon Hyde, the first base coach, he said, I don't know who started it. I just was told not to wear it. And I think they would have continued that tonight if it had been hot again here at Wrigley. Because you score 12 runs, you don't want to change too much, according to baseball superstitions. Lorenzen will field this ground ball, and that will end the inning. Montero with a 3-run homer on a 3-2 pitch. The Cubs have an early 3-0 lead after 1.
Nothing courtesy of Miguel Montero, and the right field bleachers, part of the center field bleachers, finally open to the fans. I know that these people were thrilled after Miggy went deep just then, and I know that the players are certainly happy to have them back here. Just talking about the energy that it brought, having the left field bleachers be open, now the right field. I'm standing in what they call the porch, guys, which is an all-new addition following the construction, and it will actually be able to be rented out for private parties. And then right below the video board is what they call the patio, which will also soon be open for fans and parties to rent out. And this, most importantly, an incredible view out here, guys. I just can't get over how much fun it would be to sit out here.
Yeah, we've done it on occasion, Kelly, as Bryant gives that one a look.
It's one of those bucket list things for Cub fans, right? To spend a day on the bleachers.
And well attended tonight.
Yeah, it looks great, doesn't it? People out there on both sides now.
One strike on Jay Bruce. Here's the pitch. It's in there. It's 0-2. So Jay Bruce got off to a terrible start after a rough year last year. Sure had to be wondering what in the world is going on. He was hitting 162 on May the 14th through his first 34 games, but he's been terrific in his last 22 games. 303, 411, 526. The slash line. So 218 overall, but a lot better as of recently.
Yeah, boy, he just finished with a 217 average last year, 281 on base percentage. He dealt with some injury problems last season.
Called strike 3. He got him.
Four up, four down here for Wada to get started. Breaking ball below the knees. Hope looks like he may have a generous zone here tonight. Rang up Castro on a pitch a little bit off the plate, and that one was clearly down.
Dr. K strikes again. Here's Ryan Pena. He's got 6 hits over his last 2 games. So Devin Mesoraco is out with a hip injury, and he's learning left field. He's played 3 games at AAA and left. I guess the way the injury has worked, it bothers him when he crouches. So with Marlon Byrd now out with a fractured wrist, the thought was Mesoraco can stave off surgery until at least after the season by playing another position, and they'd love to get his bat back in the lineup.
Yeah, Mesoraco really had a breakout year last year. Hit for a lot of power. It's a banged up bunch. Brandon Phillips not in the lineup tonight. He's got a hip thing. Billy Hamilton still bothered by a hand issue.
Pena with the Reds' first hit.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Mesoraco long term. Comes back, and he's a good athlete. I'm sure he can handle left field if he comes back this year and plays well out there. Is that something they would consider long term? I mean, he has more value if he can continue to catch and hit at a high level.
How about do a little bit of both?
Do a little of
the
both.
Buster Posey bit. Chris Dominguez, recalled today from Louisville, his second stint this year with the Reds.
Spinning it, a couple of breaking balls to get started. Dominguez is a dead red fastball hitter. Problem is, when you miss with those breaking pitches, you put yourself in a position where you might have to throw him a heater here on 2-0. Ouch.
Two and one. Look at 2-2. It's the invisible 88-mile-an-hour fastball. You see guys swing right through.
Yeah, he's got a lot of backspin on that four-seam fastball. He's also got a quick arm. And some deception. They just get started late. Sometimes he just painted the inside corner. Appears to be a return to form here for Tsuyoshi.
Yeah, that is the pitch that he'll get that called third. It starts at the knees, and a lot of hitters probably think that ball's going to sink low and out of the zone, and it maintains its plane all the way to the mid.
We talk so much about four-seam fastballs up in the zone, the elevated fastball, but a four-seamer down like that will kind of stay on plane, almost like it's hydroplaning.
Well, there are going to be a lot of reps, a lot of at-bats to be had at the shortstop position for the Reds to finish this season. Zach Cozart suffered a devastating knee injury yesterday, so he's done for the year. Known for his defense more than his offense, but was putting together a fine offensive campaign. This is hard to watch. He slipped on top of first base and grotesquely twisted that knee.
Lunging for the bag, hyperextended it. He blew it out.
Suarez lines one foul and out of play.
Tore the anterior cruciate and lateral collateral ligament and the biceps tendon in his right knee. Who knew yet you have a bicep tendon in your right knee? Expected to have surgery Monday. Rehab will take approximately 9 months. We wish him well.
Eugenio Suarez making his Reds debut. 85 games with the Tigers last year. Came over in the Alfredo Simon deal. Just up from AAA. Runner at first, 2 outs. And Wada's 1-2 is a little high.
Yeah, I have no idea really how good Suarez and DeJesus Jr. are defensively. I feel pretty safe in saying that probably can't hold a candle to Brandon Phillips and Zach Cozart. Maybe the best middle infield tandem in baseball.
Full count, 3-2.
Do you hold the candle? Can't hold the candle. Is that a phrase?
I would hope.
Did I make that up?
No,
that's a phrase,
works.
Right? You can't hold a candle.
Right, that's the cliche, yeah. You should be proud of yourself. You got it right.
Where does that come from?
Ball 4.
Can we get research on that?
First walk.
What are the origins of can't hold a candle? So here we go. Here's Lorenzen, the pitcher, hitting 8th.
He's not hitting 8th because he can hit. He's hitting 8th because that's where the pitcher mainly has batted for the Reds in the last couple of weeks plus. And a lot of it was to take some pressure off Billy Hamilton. Moved him from the leadoff spot to the 9 hole. Tonight it's Negron batting 9th. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, because Hamilton in the 8 hole is kind of wasted. A lot of times that 8th place hitter, when he gets on in front of the pitcher, he's just going to bunt him over. You don't really want to bunt Billy Hamilton over because he's just going to steal the base by himself. So by putting him 9th, he becomes that secondary leadoff guy.
Driven in the air out into deep right field. Lake chasing after it. Can't make the play. Reds are going to get a couple. Lorenzen on his way to third. He's got a triple, and it's 3-2. He hit over 300 in college, 200 in his minor league career, and that was a long drive to the other way.
Yeah, I didn't see where Junior started, but Dexter Fowler was really shallow. That's legit right there. That's a very good swing. You can see where they started right here. You see how far Dexter had to go. There's no way he was going to run it down. Junior got a pretty good break on the ball. Just ran out of time out there. I'm guessing Dexter will play him a step or two deeper next time he comes up.
Christopher Negron is playing center. So the idea of holding a candle,
yeah,
it used to be the assistant, the apprentice, whatever you would call that person, would hold a candle so the boss, the authority figure, the more experienced employee could do the work. Not have to use his or her hands to hold the candle.
If you weren't really good, you couldn't even hold a candle. If you're really bad, you weren't even good enough to hold the candle.
You compare that person to somebody known. Yep.
Thank you.
Ball 4.
Well, Ron Kolpa at times has been generous down there, but unfortunately for Wada, not that time.
Second walk of the inning. Strike called. Brandon Phillips, as JD mentioned, dealing with a groin injury right now. I guess day to day at the moment has been really hot in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, I think I said hip earlier, but it's a groin. Yeah, I remember early when we saw him earlier, he was really scuffling. He's still not hitting for a lot of power. He's been hot. Votto's been swinging it well. Frazier's doing his thing. Overall, the Reds 9th in the league in runs scored.
Wada at 40 pitches, almost to half what he has averaged in his starts in the big leagues. He's averaged 85.6 pitches per start as a Cub. Runner goes from first, fouled back. So I guess if you're filling in for Billy Hamilton, you got to run.
Yeah.
They do lead the majors in stolen bases as a team with 56. Hamilton has 25 of those. Three-run homer Miguel Montero. Two-run triple Michael Lorenzen. Only in the second inning. Are not expecting De Jesus to pull the ball to the outfield, at least very much. We've got Chris Coghlan playing almost in left center.
They don't expect him to pull the ball, and they don't expect him to drive the ball over their heads out there in center and right.
Late coming in, and he'll make the grab to end the inning. Reds get a couple on the big hit by the pitcher, and it's now 3-2 after an inning and a half. limited daily tickets remain. Don't miss out on the action. Visit PGAchampionship.com today to get your tickets.
Or Ozzie Zeller threw out a first pitch here tonight.
I missed it. How was it? Did you see it?
Wide left. No, it was fine. I didn't see it either. I just saw him. He was down there and then working his way through the stands and signing some autographs. That little guy, he's got it going on.
We do have a scheduling note on July 5th. That's a Sunday. The Marlins and Cubs here at Wrigley Field. That game had been listed as TBD in terms of game time. It will start at 1:20. And we will have that game for you right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Pre-game programming to kick off at 12:30 Sunday, July 5th. Also want to welcome back Henry Blanco, part of the Cubs coaching staff. He had missed about 3 weeks. He had a neck procedure, but he said he's feeling good. Great to have him back in uniform. One and 0 on Junior Lake. 1-1. To the second baseman, De Jesus. I got to look at my scorecard. I'm just used to bouncer to Phillips, bouncer to Cozart.
I know. Been kind of funky looking out there. On Friday, September 11th, the Zach Brown Band is coming back to Wrigley Field. It's their Jekyll and Hyde tour. Tickets are on sale now at Cubs.com/Zach Brown Band. Don't miss your chance to see the 3-time Grammy Award-winning Zach Brown Band here at Wrigley Field. Cubs.com/Zach Brown Band for tickets.
Strike on Wada. 0 for 6 this year. 1 out of 26 in his career as he foul tips. Reds for 4. Indians for 2. And then to Cleveland for 2 more. The next 8 against teams with an Ohio mailing address. He got him on a fastball for strike 3. A dandy tomorrow in terms of the pitching matchup. Johnny Cueto and Jason Hamill. Look at the earned run averages. And the night games Saturday and Sunday. Leake and Hendricks on Saturday. DeSclafani and Lester Sunday. 4 in a row now retired by Lorenzen since the Montero home run. Addison Russell had the game winning RBI last night. One scoring single in the second. He bounces to the shortstop. Negron. Cubs go down 1-2-3 in the second, leading 3-2.
Fans, let's go. Summer's right around the corner. We promise things are going to heat up here at Wrigley Field. Make your plans now to catch a game in the friendly confines. The Cubs continue this homestand. 3 more with the Reds and then 2 with the Indians. Tickets can be yours at Cubs.com.
They keep track of assists. Give the last one to Suarez. I said Negron, he's playing center, not short. So here's Joey Votto. 0 for 1 tonight. Averaging .297. He lined to Rizzo in the first. There was a time when it felt like he homered against the Cubs every game he played against them. 2007 to 2010, he hit 17 in 49 games against the Cubs. Done a better job against him here the last few years. Off to a very good start after missing 100 games last year with a quad injury.
Yeah, he missed a lot of time, and even when he was in there, he wasn't healthy, didn't have his legs, and he wasn't able to drive the ball. He's taken a lot of criticism because of his patient approach at the plate, but you know, when you don't have the ability to hit the ball over the wall, it probably makes sense to be even more patient. Bring that level of on base presence to the lineup.
Well, you got Votto and Rizzo both hitting second in their respective lineups. Guys who can hit the ball out of the park but bring a great set of on-base skills.
They're very similar players, aren't they? Votto, like Rizzo, has been really good against left-handed pitching. Doesn't yield, hangs in there. He's better than .300 against southpaws this year.
Drilled deep the other way. And it's going to rest right there at the bottom of the wall for a double. Yeah, I don't think it's a stretch to say that Anthony Rizzo would take it as a huge compliment to say he's patterned some of his offensive game after that guy. And I'm sure Joey Votto would be flattered by that too.
Well, yeah, and we talk so much about Rizzo staying in against left-handed pitching, and here's a great example of Votto doing just that. Head never moves, right on the ball. He's hit 2 bullets tonight. Line out to first, double to left center.
Strike called on Frazier. Frazier with a bust out year last season and really improving upon that this season. First time All-Star in 2014. He played in 157 games, 150 games the year before. .2980 guy last year in terms of homers and RBIs, and at least for the home runs, he may well surpass that this season. Called strike 3.
Big punch out here for Wada. Montero standing up. He's looking for a swing and miss at an elevated fastball, and Wada throws the ball belt high over the plate.
He's got 4 strikeouts. 3 have been looking. And it's Bruce. Swing and a miss. Wada 5'11", 180. 34 years old. 18th big league start. Came over to the States originally after signing with the Orioles, but never got to the big leagues. He had Tommy John surgery. 9 years for Fukuoka in the Pacific League in Japan.
Bottom of the zone against Bruce here. A little off-speed pitch. Well received by Montero. Bruce hangs in there against lefties. 269 batting average against lefties. He's less than 200 against right-handed pitching.
The runner at second, 1 out. In the third, pulled on the ground to Rizzo. He's going to take it to the bag by himself. Votto now at third with 2 gone. And it'll be Brian Pena.
Yeah, punch out of Frazier was huge. Had Frazier been able to at least advance Votto to third, he might have been able to come home on that ball.
Pena, switch hitter. Called strike. Some day action today. Extra innings in Atlanta. The Padres beat the Braves 6-4. Yangervis Solarte won it with a 2-run single. Dugout's empty in the first inning. Julio Teheran hit Matt Kemp. No punches thrown. Padres activated Will Myers off the deal. He missed 28 games with a left wrist injury. Indians shut out the Mariners 6-0. Giovanni Urshela hit his first big league home run. I guess his family had been in town. He made his major league debut Tuesday. They left before he hit the home run today. They were at the game but left early. They had to catch a flight home. That's a strike, 2-2.
You might not invite him back. Well, the good stuff happened after they left town.
Sean Markham and the Cleveland bullpen combined on a 2-hit shutout. The A's shut out Texas 7-0. Scott Kazmir, his first win in 10 starts.
Pena, tough guy to finish off. He does not strike out very much. He'll take his walks. Doesn't overswing. He doesn't hit for a lot of power. He knows what he's capable of doing, and he has a pretty solid approach. Much better from the other side of the plate. And 337 hitter as a left-handed batter. From the right side, he was hitting 231. Montero trying to get Wada to bury that breaking ball down, a backdoor breaker down below the knees, couldn't quite get it there. Pena extends the at bat.
Pena has had a concerned look on his face after that previous foul liner. We think hit a young fan near the hand. And I think she's all right, but as that ball's hit on the ground to the shortstop Castro to end the inning. Votto stranded at third. Still 3-2 Cubs.
Contemplating a trip to Wrigley Field, the Cubs suggest the use of public transportation. If you ride your bike, Cubs offer a courtesy bike check. That's at Clark and Addison. And if you drive, the Cubs provide free parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games from 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com. All good for that young lady there on that sharp foul ball.
All smiles. She's a Blackhawks fan.
She's the captain.
Got the Taves jersey on. She's doing fine. What a finish last night, huh?
Woo.
3-2 Cubs on the early homer by Miguel Montero. Top of the order here against rookie right-hander Michael Lorenzen. Ball one to Fowler.
Leaned heavily on his fastball, did Lorenzen, first time through the order. Mix it up a little bit here. First pitch breaking ball to Fowler.
That one hit a ton deep to right. Bruce back. It is gone. A home run. 4-2. Number 7 for Fowler.
A breaking ball to start him and then challenged him with the heater, and Fowler clearly was up to the challenge. And the real positive developments on the road trip was a return to form for Dexter Fowler. He'd been really scuffling before the Cubs left town, but he had a nice trip. And he'll have a leisurely trip, or he had a leisurely trip around the bases after that swing of the bat.
Ford home run replay. Cubs have connected twice. Ball one to Rizzo. Ball two.
We talked about the similarities between Votto and Rizzo's game here. They're a great example. Both guys just staying in, shooting the ball the other way.
Votto is not a small man, but when you look at that split screen, you realize how big Anthony Rizzo is. He walked him.
After giving up the home run, Lorenzen wanted no part of Rizzo.
Votto 6'2", 221.
Broad-shouldered guy. Rizzo's just big everywhere, big, thick.
6'3", 240. Homer walk to start the inning, and a swing and a miss by Bryant. His manager quoted saying Bryant is very fertile without hitting home runs. Not a one-trick pony. He can do a lot of different things. Good base runner, takes his walks.
Right, that's really a hallmark of a really good player when you're not doing what you do best. And what he does best is hit the ball out of the ballpark. But even when he's not doing that, he's a solid contributor.
He's hit .368 in Cubs wins, 176 in their losses. Travis Wood is up. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Wada has made 66 pitches in his first 3 innings tonight.
Yeah, and Joe, tends to have a shorter leash with guys at the back of the road. Not just Joe, any manager would, but I'm guessing there must be something going on with Wada physically.
Yeah, we're not near his spot in the lineup yet. If we get to that spot and somehow he's coming out, it might be Wood to hit for him. We'll see. To 3-2 to that. So Montero swung 3-0, swung 3-1, and eventually hit the home run.
Sure, it's like being on a driving range, right? You just keep getting that fastball, and with each look, each swing, you time it up a little bit better.
Wood is not getting loose with any sort of pace right now, so I don't know if it's a guarantee that he's going to start the 4th. We'll see. Caught by Pena. That's a strikeout. Talking with Joe today about last night. It ended up being a laugher, but remember, JD, it got to 6-3. Just kind of talking about the way he was using his bullpen, and the offense basically won the game. Once it got to 6-3, then the Cubs offense just said, okay, we'll take care of this. As that ball gets by Pena and allows Rizzo to get to second.
Corey Crawford couldn't have blocked that one.
They're calling it a wild pitch then, I guess. We didn't have a prayer. I think Joe would like to see a lot more of what he saw last night. You're not going to get 12 runs every night, but just see that game where 6th or 7th inning, you just score 5 or 6 and say that's it, it's over. We haven't had a lot of those this year. The proverbial laugher.
Yeah, no, have not had many of those at all. Either way, wins or losses.
2-1 on Starlin.
25 one-run games. Cubs are 5 games better than 500, but they've only outscored their opponent by 2 runs, a run differential of 2, and tied in the standings with the Pirates, and the Pirates have outscored their opponents by 42. I guess you could say the Cubs are doing more with less.
Full count, 3-2. Coughlin on deck. Fowler led off the inning with his 7th homer of the season.
Remember, Starlin got rung up last time on a fastball. It was a little bit off the outside corner. That's a fair ball.
Got to run. You got to run. So that will end the inning. Leadoff homer Fowler. It's 4-2 after 3. Baseball is Comcast Sportsnet hosts a viewing party at Declan's Irish Pub in Chicago. Watch the Northsiders square off with Cleveland. Enjoy Coors Light and win prizes next Thursday at 6. Great beer equals great responsibility. Cubs lead by 2 with Travis Wood still watching from the bullpen mound. Tsuyoshi Wada starts things here in the 4th against Chris Dominguez. 0-2. A little low that time. Going in.
Didn't get it there. Dominguez, a long swing, a little bit behind it.
The fan who was hit by the broken bat Fenway Park has been upgraded to good from fair. That's Tanya Carpenter, 44 years old. Just missed. Driven to very deep left. into the bleachers for a home run. Chris Dominguez makes it 4-3.
Dominguez had 21 home runs last year as a minor leaguer, 5 more this year at AAA.
Second of his major league career in our Ford home run replay. Actually, he has 2 hits in his young career, and they both have left the ballpark, and that's going to be it for Wada. So it's an early Weber sauces and seasonings call to the pen. Why grill with anything else? 4-3 Cubs in the 4th. Seasonings call to the pen. Early hook tonight for Wada. And here is Travis Wood. And we saw him last night finish the ball game in Detroit on just 10 pitches in the 9th inning.
So he should be good to go here tonight. He had 4 days off prior to that appearance.
Suarez was brought up from AAA. Replaced Zach Cozart, who went to the DL. Fouls it back. Wood, a former Cincinnati Red, 2nd round pick in the 2005 draft.
Nothing, you know, with Wada on the mound, I think Joe Madden's mindset going into his starts is the 5 good innings out of him. I'm happy. If I've got a fresh bullpen, I'll pull the trigger and go to the pen. And having this lead, he didn't want to see it slip away.
Fly ball not deep. 3 Cubs in the area. It's going to be the center fielder Fowler to grab it. And 1 out here in the 4th. Lorenzen certainly helping his own cause with a 2-run triple in his first at bat. To deep right center. Xfinity high-speed action. Pretty comfortable running the bases too.
Yeah, he's obviously a really good athlete.
talking about him a little bit. Youngest of 4 boys in his family. And he comes from a baseball family. A couple of his older brothers played, but it became apparent pretty early on that he was going to be the best of the bunch. He was pretty highly touted in high school. He was taken in the 7th round in Fullerton, California by the Tampa Bay Rays, but he did not sign. Went to Cal State Fullerton instead, and then ended up the 38th overall pick 2 years ago.
Doesn't get cheated.
This is not one of those give up at bats and then go back in the dugout and get ready to pitch. He's trying to do some damage. No damage done here, though, as Coughlin makes the grab. 2 outs. Travis Wood, the 60th overall pick in 05. Second pick that year by the Reds. Jay Bruce was their first round pick, number 12 overall. You can look at just about any team's draft in any year and find some really interesting things. I'm looking at that particular draft, and they had some big league guys. Sam LeCure, Jeff Stevens, who ended up in a Cub uniform at one point, Carlos Fisher, Adam Rosales, Logan Andrusik, and you've got a long list of guys who have not made the big leagues. It's past Travis Wood, but picked up by Russell. Go all the way to the 42nd round, a guy named John Axford.
Oh, yeah?
A circuitous route, but eventually got here. 4-3 in the 4th. The Cubs go country. Fans will enjoy country music hits played before and during the game. All Budweiser bleacher fans 21 and older get a country cap presented by Budweiser. Special entertainment in the bleachers will include live music, additional giveaways, photo ops, and fun games. For tickets, visit Cubs.com. Just to follow up, John Axford did not sign with the Reds after they took him in the 42nd round. He eventually signed with the Yankees in 06. Remember, he pitched to
ultimately, I think he signed undrafted, didn't he?
Yeah.
Got a little bit at Notre Dame. Or no, Canisius College.
He went to
both. Maybe both.
Yeah. It is a total crapshoot, those late round picks.
Yeah, I'm looking at the, just randomly picked the year. I'm looking at the Cubs 2009 draft. 50 players picked. 5 played in the major leagues. Brett Jackson, DJ LeMahieu, Chris Russin, Brooks Raley, and Justin Bohr. So, you know, and that's not atypical. That's pretty typical. A chance to talk to Jason McLeod and get his analysis on this year's draft, I'm sure, at some point, and he would probably tell you, yeah, we get five or six guys out of any draft class going to the big leagues. That's a pretty good draft.
1-1 to Coughlin. Feels like it's going to rain at some point here soon. We've seen a few droplets. Backhanded play to Jesus. 1 out. I mean, it's an easy thing to say. It's going to rain eventually because it could rain next Wednesday. But I'm talking in the near future, like the next hour or two.
Just get hammered overnight.
And it might rain too. Rim shot. 1-0 on Junior Lake. Got a day game tomorrow, partner.
Oh gosh, I'm just coming off that road trip. I was gassed today. Get it ready, Junior. Get the head out on one here.
Well, Lorenzen's been behind in the count a lot. This one bounced foul. He's given up 2 home runs. Montero in the first, Fowler in the third.
Well, great opportunity for these young guys. I don't know if the Reds anticipated some of these youngsters to get here this early, but injuries have opened up the door. Rookie John Moscott that's made a couple of starts for them.
Strikeout number 5 for Lorenzen. Well, Travis can swing the bat. There's a ball game going on about an hour and a half north of us in Milwaukee. The Nationals have a 5-1 lead in the bottom of the 4th. Boy, Bernard Span putting together a season. He's 3 for 3 already tonight with 2 runs scored. He bounces the throw, dug out by Votto. Inning over. After 4, it's 4-3 Cubs.
Tickets to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. Enter for your chance to win now at csnchicago.com/game6. The winner will be selected Monday at noon. That's csnchicago.com/game6. Oh, baby, that's better than winning the golden ticket.
Reds will bat here in the 5th inning. Ivan De Jesus Jr. Followed his exploits a few years ago, just as he was about to make his major league debut. His dad was a Cubs coach. There's the 1-0. It's in there for a strike, and Senior had a really nice major league career. And was involved in the biggest trades in Cubs history, as Cubs got future Hall of Famer Ryne Sandberg. And we should note, Ivan in 1983 played on the Phillies NL East championship team. 158 games that year, and then in 1985. 59 games with the Cardinals, who won the National League pennant. And then in 87, just a handful of games with the NL West champion Giants. So worked out okay for him too.
Sure. Nice long career. So right there, I know maybe I'm just projecting, but when he starts with a little bit of a closed stance, I'm thinking of his dad.
Ball out toward the gap, cut off neatly by Junior Lake. That'll keep De Jesus to a single. Yeah, I vaguely remember his dad growing up watching him, but I don't remember the batting stance.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It could be a complete whiff on my part, but when he first came up to hit, there was something about it that made me think of his dad. It might have been the fact that it had De Jesus on the back of his jersey.
That could be part of it. When I watch Ron Culpa, when he gets ready to watch the pitch, there's a lot of movement back there. Would this have bothered you?
Probably not.
Because you're focused on the glove.
Yeah.
Somebody asked on Twitter, so I wanted to ask you.
Well, we'll keep an eye on.
A little adjustment right here.
As a pitcher, you might prefer that he set up a little bit earlier, but they don't want to move till the catcher moves. They want to make sure they know where the catcher's going to be before they set up. Stay off that inside shoulder of the catcher, but they don't want to stay too far off because then they become really exposed to foul tips.
Yeah, he kind of plays a position like a second baseman, doesn't he?
So he's really exposed there, so he's going to slide back in and get down.
Wood quickly off the mound. He'll get Votto, throw back to second. And De Jesus was standing right on the bag. Tying run is there with only one out.
I guess umpiring's like playing any other position on the field. There's a rhythm and a feel to it, and you don't want to be locked in too long, lose your concentration. Joe talks a lot about his position players in the outfield and the infield, about walking the circle after the pitch, walk around a little bit, back into the ready position.
Dangerous Todd Frazier looks at a strike.
got me locked in on Culpa now. Well, the last couple of pitches he has moved kind of late, and not so much from the standpoint of me as a pitcher or a pitcher looking in at it, but if you're an umpire and you're moving as the pitch is being delivered, I think that might upset your judgment a little bit.
He's been around for a long time. Blake makes a catch. Runner holds. Two away, and it'll bring up the aforementioned Jay Bruce. He and Travis Wood taken in the same draft. See that all-star patch. Cincinnati will host the Midsummer Classic this year for the 5th time. First time at Great American Ballpark. Hits the runner, but fortunately Russell was right behind him to play the deflection. Justin Grimm now has a ball in the bullpen. Got some guys on the Reds coaching staff with Cub ties. Both base coaches. Jim Riggleman, former Cub managers at third. Former Cubs outfielder Billy Hatcher over at first. Jeff Pico, the pitching coach, a former Cub. Lee Tinsley, their assistant hitting coach, recently worked in the Cubs organization as well. Outside, and it's 2-2.
Good quality work here from Wood in this confrontation with his old teammate Jay Bruce. Pounding away at that outside corner down around the knees. Think of Bruce as a pull hitter, but against a lefty, he'll shoot the ball the other way. He'll drive it the other way.
Ball strike 3, and the inning is over. He's bringing another man in scoring position, and it's still 4-3. in the confines. He'll host a meet and greet with participants, take photos, and sign some autographs. Fans of all ages can play catch in the outfield, hang out in the dugouts. Proceeds will benefit the Cubs Scholars Program, which gives deserving students the chance to receive a college education. For tickets, it's Cubs.com/catch. Wouldn't be a bad idea to add on here, would it? Leading by
no,
just
I think
one.
it'd be a good idea to score a few more points here. Keep the press on. These guys should have many confrontations in the future.
Cubs only have 3 hits. A double by Rizzo in the first, and then the 2 home runs. But they have added a couple of walks. Russell through the hole and into left.
Fowler made a loud noise last time up, hit one into the seats. See if we can get a little something going here after this leadoff single by Russell.
Boy, for a while there, the Reds just beat the Cubs at every turn. In this ballpark, in fact. The pitch out. Russell was not moving. August 10th, 2012 to June 23rd of last year, the Cubs lost 18 of 20 to the Cincinnati Reds here at Wrigley Field. They have now won 6 of 8 since.
Starting with the 2010 season, the Reds are 61 and 32 against the Cubs. And won the season series every year since 2010. What a different story this year. Cubs have won 4 of 5 so far against Cincinnati. Great hitters count. Try to throw him a running fastball.
Fowler homered his last time up. Let's see if he has the green light. Big lead by Russell. Not running. Fowler.
It's not exactly the hack you're looking for on 3-0. This is the hack you're looking for.
First homer into the right field bleachers. They've been occupied by fans this year. Tonight, the first night.
Pinching the middle of the diamond, looking for a double play. Gives Fowler a lot of room on the right side. Big hole between first and second. He might have been leaning.
Fly out to left. That's Dominguez, and he's got it. And back to first goes Russell. Rizzo, he's doubled, walked, and scored. the only current player with at least 30 walks and fewer than 30 strikeouts. I see some droplets of rain now.
He might be looking for a little first pitch ambush here.
Yep. Foul tip.
Last time I checked, he was hitting better than 600 when he puts the first pitch in play. Lorenzen wanted no part of him last time, walked him, so I figured he might get a first pitch fastball in the zone there. Overpowered him there at 97. Doesn't swing often at that first pitch, but when he does a lot of damage.
Rizzo has the 4th highest batting average among all players with at least 10 home runs. He just got hit for the 14th time this season.
Does not yield. Down a couple of strikes. He's going to make sure he's even tighter to home plate, cover that outside corner.
Well, he's on quite a pace. $13 times in what?
About a third of the season.
58 games.
Action in the pen.
Burke Badenhop.
It's a good option if you're looking to get that ground ball to get a double play and get out of a jam. Things may be trending that way.
If you're wondering, the modern record in a single season for hit by pitches is Ron Hunt in 1971. He got plunked 50 times.
Yeah, he used to choke up on the bat, crowd the plate, just stand there and take a beating.
And Baylor 35 times in 86. Craig Biggio 34 times in 97. That's the kind of pace right now that Rizzo's on. To upper 30s.
Ron Hunt led the league in being hit by a pitch in 7 consecutive seasons.
It's a painful way to make a living. It's good for your on base percentage. Good take on a close pitch. 3-2 with 1 out. Let's see if the runners will be moving. I'm going to guess yes. What do you say?
Well, I'm going to say no.
Okay. You are correct. Bounce foul.
Guy's a swing and miss pitcher. Not shown to be an extreme ground ball pitcher, so you're less worried about the ground ball double play.
Line fair. Here comes Russell. Rizzo will be held at third. It's a double for Chris Bryant, and it's 5-3. RBI number 35.
There's that add-on we were talking about, and an opportunity for a couple of more. Second and third, just one out. Bryant gets the front side cleared, whacks that ball into the left field corner. Lorenzen's not happy.
Reds will move their infield in second and third. Now let's see, the guys on the right side are moving back as they're going to intentionally walk Montero with Castro on deck.
Yeah, I think this is walk Montero, bringing Baden-Hop, try to get the double play ball from Castro. Pena has tremendous form when asking for its intentional walk. Check that out. That's right out of the textbook. Whoa! He's showing good range.
Well, Lorenzen outlasted Wada. Unable to get through 5 tonight. That's not the easiest catch to make with that catcher's mitt. Here comes Baden-Hop.
Not a good night for Lorenzen, but you can see why the Reds are so high on him. He's got a great arm.
Weber's sauces and seasonings. Call to the pen. Why grill with anything else? Bert Baden-Hop.
Baden-Hop, he's got a high ERA, 7.11. League hits .316 against him. It's a sinker, slider, split finger pitch. He's an extreme ground ball pitcher throughout his career, and that's why he gets the call here. And Castro, who's an extreme ground ball hitter, and the base is loaded.
Foul strike to start it.
Good hack there by Castro. His mission, try to stay inside the ball. Think middle of the diamond the other way. Much more likely to get the ball airborne with that approach. Nothing for two so far tonight for Starlin. Caught looking and a little tapper out in front of the plate.
Bullpen has had some issues this year. Baden-Hop 7-11. Jumbo Diaz, Kevin Gregg, they were given 8th inning responsibilities earlier. They're no longer in that bullpen. Diaz had a .665. Gregg over 10. J.J. Hoover's been very good. I don't know about Aroldis Chapman. 12 out of 13 in save chances. 2 balls and a strike. As we check out our AT&T U-verse multi-view. Bases full. A run in. Still only 1 out.
Badenhop having a hard time getting that sinker down. Asking for trouble. I'm able to throw that one by Castro, but sinker ballers who throw the ball 90, 88 to 90 miles an hour when it's up around the belt, it's living dangerously.
The 2-2 on the way. He got it. 2 outs in the inning. And it'll bring up Chris Coghlan.
This guy's former teammates with the Marlins.
Ball 1. Swinging bump, and he's going to reach. Pena could not pick it up with a bare hand, and the Cubs get another run, 6-3. It's an error on Pena.
We'll gladly accept a little charity here. Looked like Badenhop was going to get out of it. Got the strikeout, then this little bouncer out in front of home plate. And Pena just overruns it, reaches back for it, can't secure the baseball. He had plenty of time.
So 2 in. And it's Lake. Called strike. Rain continues to fall. Not particularly hard. We haven't seen a lot of fans head for shelter just yet. Strike 2. Burke, Heinrich Badenhop, product of Bowling Green State University. Went to high school in Perrysburg, Ohio. Isn't that Jim Leland's hometown?
That sounds right.
The only major league player to hail from Perrysburg High School.
Cubs hung a 4 spot on him earlier this year, but he did his piece here.
This is 3. Strikes out a couple. The error helps him add on. It's now 6-3 after 5.
Follow the Cubs all season with MLB.com at bat. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet.
Travis Wood has a chance to get a win. The starter Wada did not get through 5 tonight. In fact, didn't get through 4. Pena, Dominguez, and Suarez for Cincinnati.
Moving to the bullpen, Travis Wood has been throwing the ball well. Mid-2s ERA, a little more giddy up on the fastball. I wonder if this early hook for Wada the signal of maybe a flip-flop back in the other direction, and Travis Wood moving back into that rotation.
Well, the 5th spot in the rotation might be like the closer's role. You'd love to have just one guy do it, but if you have to use a few throughout the year, you do.
To have a versatile guy in your staff that can spot start for you, also work out of the bullpen.
Rizzo just into that bullpen area, makes the grab for the out. Bring up Dominguez, but first Joe Madden will head out to the mound, and he wants Justin Grimm. Solid work by Mr. Wood tonight. And it's Weber Sauces and Seasonings. Call to the pen, 6-3 Cubs. Pen. And it's hard throwing Justin Grimm.
Grimm worked an inning in the ball game last night. Worked in 3 of 4 in Washington. So an off day Monday in Detroit came in handy for him. He's been efficient and he's been overpowering. 20 strikeouts in 12 2/3. Curveball is nasty.
You know, one other guy to think about, talking about the 5th starter, is Jacob Turner is now on a rehab assignment. So he could be an option at some point. One and 2 the count on Dominguez. He homered his last time up. Very possible that the rain may not stop for quite a while. We just hope it does not get more intense. outside, 2-2.
So I'm going to either clip the outside corner at the knees with his fastball or miss away from Grimm. I'm going to go back to that sharp breaking ball here.
Rizzo again in foul territory near the tarp. And 2 outs. Tomorrow is a 50th wedding anniversary. Ken and Linda Chosek. Congratulations. Ground ball is short. Castro gets Suarez. Nice job by Grimm, the bullpen tonight. He's done a nice job. Cubs lead 6-3.
Offer 90-minute guided tours that include a chance to step on the field. This must-see Chicago attraction houses over 100 years of history. For more information, visit Cubs.com/tours.
Cubs lead 6-3. And it's Mike Baxter to pinch hit. He had a big game last night as the DH in Detroit. Walked, doubled, singled, walked again. Struck out in his final at bat, but scored a career high 3 runs.
Split finger there to get started from Badenhop. Yeah, very nice night for Mike Baxter. You know, the rain may have influenced the way Joe Madden managed this game too, with that quicker hook for Iwata. I'm sure you're going to play 9. It makes sense to react a little more quickly in certain situations.
Bounce to Votto. They shifted now. Started as an easterly wind, and now we've got more of a north wind. Russell. Single and a run in the 5th. Single was up. They went too high.
He's been up a lot. He's pitched effectively. I think it's just a matter of time if he continues to work up in the middle of the strike zone that he's going to get hurt.
2 down. Here's Fowler. 6-5. The Orioles beat the Red Sox. That's a sweep for Baltimore. Miami shut out the Rockies at Marlins Park 6-0.
Wow.
David Phelps 8 shutout innings, beat former Cub Chris Russin. Gave up 6 with 5 1/3.
I thought that was in Denver. That's pretty impressive. It was in Miami. Still impressive. 8 shutout. Russin had been good. Giancarlo Stanton hit another home run, his 22nd, at 743 feet. Jeff Baker also hit one for the Fish. Marlins took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs at the beginning of this recent road trip. Still not playing a whole lot better, though.
11 under 500, 25-36. Only the Phillies keeping them out of last in the East.
Cubs went on that long road trip, 5-4, came back 6.5 games behind the Cardinals. When they left, they were 6 behind the Cardinals. They lost just a half a game. The entire division, the entire NL Central, 6-4 over the last 10 games.
Yeah, they have that column on the Major League Standings page. I don't know if I've ever seen that. The whole division had the same 10-game record. So if the season started 10 games ago, everybody would be tied for first and last.
Shoulder to shoulder in the marathon.
That'd be a fun debate. Would they be tied for first or last?
Both. They'd be tied for everything.
Double walk, hit by pitch for Rizzo, and he lines one deep to right. Bruce with the leap and the grab on the warning track on a nice defensive play to Rob Rizzo. We go off to the 7th inning. It's the Cubs 6 and the Reds 3. Stanley Cup Final. Turn to CSN Plus for Blackhawks pregame live. Pat, Steve, Jamal will break down what it'll take for the Hawks to score a huge win at Tampa Bay. Stanley Cup Final Game 5 coverage begins Saturday at 6:30 on CSN Plus.
I know what it's going to take. Relentless execution, technique, and fundamentals.
That's exactly right.
And net front presence. Loose change.
Here's James Russell. The 7th inning stretch coming up. Connor Dwyer, Cullen Jones. Members of the USA Swimming men's national team. And Connor Dwyer is from Winnetka. And a gold medal winner, 2012.
And Bosch going to take this at bat. Leading off the top half of the 7th. He's Chardy on a heater. 2 out of 12 in the pinch.
Broken bat, pop fly, right field. It's Junior Lake underneath. One out. It'll bring up Christopher Negron, who has already played 7 different defensive positions. He hasn't caught, he hasn't pitched, he's played everywhere else.
So he'd be a good candidate to play them all someday. End of the year in September, meaningless game, have a little fun.
Yeah, I would agree. Russell on an 0-2. Fouled upstairs and then downstairs.
So pretty good life on that fastball here tonight. That one clocked at 92 miles an hour. Down around the knees. Hi, guys.
Dad pitched in the big leagues, Jeff. And, James was born in Cincinnati, went to high school in Texas, and then on to college in Texas. Navarro College and then UT. He was born in 1986. His dad pitched for the Reds to start his major league career. Some may recall Jeff was a starter at the beginning of his career. He ended it as a short reliever. 186 career saves for Jeff Russell. Ground ball to Addison. Russell. He'll get Negron hustling down that line. 2 down here in the 7th. It's De Jesus. Speaking of Russell's, can I make a movie recommendation? And I know
sure.
you're gonna catch it at some point. The Battered Bastards of Baseball. Great documentary about the Portland Mavericks. Bing Russell, the father of Kurt, was a big baseball fan, and he started up an independent team in the Northwest League in the mid-'70s. If you're a baseball fan at all, you're going to love this movie. Catch it on an off day.
I'm going to catch it. Yeah. Absolutely.
We'll like it.
Kurt Russell went on to coach the U.S. Olympic hockey team.
He had a few national hits. Went to Vegas. Gained a few pounds. Did you know Bing was in the Elvis movie?
I did not know that.
Yeah. You'll find that out when
Kurt
you watch
played minor league ball.
Yeah, he played for the Mavericks.
But he played affiliated ball too, right? For the Dodgers.
Yeah, I believe he did.
I remember him from his early work as the computer who wore tennis shoes.
Matt Franco. I think Kurt.
Yes, it was related. I think that's correct.
Three and two on Ivan De Jesus Jr.
3-run lead, nobody on base. De Jesus doesn't have a lot of power. He's going to pump a fastball over the heart of the plate here. Try to keep it down.
Nice Russell, but Castro will get it. Time to stretch.
Tonight's guest conductors for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, USA Olympic swimmers Connor Dwyer and Cullen Jones.
All right, Cubs fans, let me hear ya. On one, on two, on three. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. I don't care if I ever get back, so it's root for the crowd. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, they're out. That's the old game. Let's go, Cubbies! Here we go, Hawks in 6. Woo!
It's 15. First 10,000 fans here in the ballpark will receive a Joe Madden, a debut bobblehead presented by Pepsi. For details, visit Cubs.com.
Singing in the rain as the Cubs bat here in the 7th. Nate Adcock is on from Kentucky. Grew up a Reds fan, pitching for his quote hometown team.
Whoa. Two-seamer run gets away from him. He got 2.96 ERA down at AAA, 22 appearances. Low 3/4 arm action, creating a lot of movement. He's had big league time with the Royals and the Rangers. Originally drafted by the Mariners back in '06.
Two one on the way. 3 balls and a strike on Bryant. 35,301. Paid crowd tonight. headed for cover here with the rain. Angels leading at Tampa Bay 6-2 in the bottom of the ninth. And a milestone occurred in that game. We'll tell you about it in a second. Fly to right. Bruce has it. Albert Pujols has passed Mickey Mantle with his 537th career home run. Sole possession of 16th. He has tied Manny Ramirez on the extra base hits list.
He's been on a bit of a roll here lately, as Albert.
So tied for 14th on the extra base hits list. He's one RBI away from tying Ernie Banks for 29th all time. Mike Trout has homered tonight as well. So that's the 24th game in which both Trout and Pujols have homered.
Albert hit 208 in April. 271 in May. He's hitting 375 here in June. He's hit 6 home runs this month. With an OPS up over 1,300.
2-1 to Montero. Swing and a miss on a sinker. A lot of movement on that pitch. Two guys with the last name Adcock who have been in the big leagues. You know the other, right?
Joe?
Yeah, Joe. First baseman and outfielder, and he played for the Reds. Long time with the Milwaukee Braves. That ball deflected off of Adcock. He'll go to cover the bag, and Montero beats the throw by Votto. Infield hit, and Adcock trying to shake it off.
Couple of nights, real good swings for Montero. Homered earlier in this ball game, a 3-run shot in the first to get things started for the Cubs. And this is a bullet off of Adcock around the hip, it looked like. Had the wherewithal to hustle on over to first base, but Montero beats the play.
Take a warm-up toss or two to make sure he's all right.
He's lucky he didn't hurt his leg the way he went after the bag there. I don't think he ever got the base, but it looked like his ankle turned a little bit. Landed on that right foot.
So no relation that I know of between Nate and Joe Adcock. Joe hit 336 home runs, 17 years in the big leagues. Went to LSU. He signed with the Reds, but he was blocked at first base. There was a guy named Ted Klaczewski at first base.
Good clue. Yeah.
So they moved Adcock to the outfield, but he didn't like the outfield. He demanded to be traded, and they sent him to the Braves in 1953. Teamed up with Eddie Matthews and a young Hank Aaron. Way inside to Starlin Castro. Baseball Reference, he was the first player, Joe Adcock, to hit a home run over the grandstand roof at Ebbets Field, and one of 3 to find the bleachers in center field at the Polo Grounds. Care to take a guess at the 2 other guys to do that?
Center field Polo
Grounds. And I believe in both cases they were visiting players.
Clemente.
Hank Aaron was one. Lou Brock was the other. Adcock, best known for breaking up Harvey Haddock's no-hitter 1959 in the 13th inning. But he passed Hank Aaron and was not credited with a home run. The ball went over the wall, but because of base running gaffe,
had to settle for a single.
Yeah. At the end of the bat, that liner's going to hold up for Negron in center. So 2 outs, and it'll be Chris Coghlan.
Two, 3, 4 due up for the Reds in the top of the 8th. Heavier lifting to do in the 8th than the 9th. Strop in the pen.
Yes.
Late inning relief for the Cubs in a little bit of flux right now. Hector Rondon has had some struggles, was removed from a game in Washington. Strop came in to finish that game off, pick up a save. Jason Mott got a save.
It's over Votto. Right down the right field line. Montero to third. Gary Jones is going to put on the brakes. It's a double for Coghlan.
Big smile on the face of Chris Coghlan. He had been 0 for 3 prior to that swing of the bat.
Joe loves that 3-0 green light.
Yeah, and I think, it's, you want to give 3-0 green lights to guys who can do some damage. You want to do it to guys who you can trust to swing at good pitches on 3-0. I think with 2 outs and a man on first base, why not turn a guy loose, see if he can hit one in the gap or down the line for extra bases and score a run. It's the one time in the modern game where you feel pretty comfortable you're going to get a fastball. You can really sell out, sit on a heater. Used to be 2-0, 3-1, almost always fastball counts. Now, even from real hard throwers, you see a lot of sliders, off-speed pitches in those hitters' counts.
Cubs have been sitting in a lot of 2-0 counts tonight. Chris DeNorfie is on deck for Russell. That's James, the pitcher.
This could be a little mood enhancing at bat for Junior here. He's had a tough night. 0 for 3 with a couple of punch outs. See if he gets a chance to swing here. 3-0.
He walked him. Cingrani. Pico, the pitching coach, will make a trip.
Amazing how much turnover there's been on this Reds roster since we last saw them. Our first look at Adcock. Talked about the position players that are in there tonight that we normally don't see.
Well, how about their opening day starting lineup? Mesoraco is a catcher. Phillips, Cozart, Bird, Hamilton. Joe Adcock note.
Absolutely.
Got to tie it up. July 31st, 1954. Ebbets Field facing the Dodgers. 4 homers and a double. Pretty good.
4 homers in a game has been done, what,
don't know,
14, 15 times maybe?
Bob Horner, Sean Green. Cameron do it once. 1-1. So there's your baseball history lesson for the night. Chris Denorfia, 19th round pick of these Reds. 2002. Leaves at strike 2.
16 men on that list now. 4 homers in a game. If you go, counting in the Wayback Machine, Bobby Lowe and Ed Delahanty, who did it in the 1890s.
Josh Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton, the last guy to do it, May of 2012. Hard hitting Mark Whitten, Carlos Delgado. You mentioned Horner, Mike Schmidt, Willie Mays, Rocky Colavito, Adcock, Hodges, Gill, Pat Siri for the White Sox.
Full count with the bases loaded. Adcock will have to make at least 30 pitches during this inning. strike three. If he didn't like it, inning over. They leave him loaded. It's 6-3 Cubs. The concourse. Keep her steady. There's Pedro Strop.
So far, so good for the Cubs bullpen here tonight. Wood, Grimm, Russell, outstanding work. Strop on for the 30th time. He's got a win. He's lost 3 and a 3.46 ERA. As we mentioned last half, the Reds. The meat of the order coming up here. Votto, Frazier, Bruce to get things started. For Pedro Strop, you hope that's enough. That's good. 3 and out. He'd be happy with that.
Pitch. Not sure what Votto had to say about it, if he liked it or not. Once the batter's set, the pitcher can do it. 1-2.
Choking up a little bit, winding the stance.
Skipped to Addison Russell, and he'll get Votto.
Quick pitch is so effective for him. You can just see he gets hitters out of their rhythm. Surprised more guys don't try it.
Now Bruce, 5 pitches, 2 outs. That's a strike. That one hit pretty well. And it's going to die in the wind as Junior Lake makes the catch, and Pedro Strop with a 7-pitch, 1-2-3 8th inning. Getting into it. Cubs leading 6-3. And it is Tony Cingrani, product of Lincoln Way Central High in New Lenox, Illinois, South Suburban College in South Holland, and then Rice University. Former starter, now pitching in relief.
And may ultimately return to the rotation, but right now working out of the bullpen and pretty effective, as you see the numbers there on Cingrani. Likes to work up in the zone with a fastball.
First pitch strike. Did reach the plate before it bounced. Most guys use that tongue depressor to get the mud out of their spikes, but Cingrani just took his right hand and grabbed a clump of dirt, threw it on the ground. Final now, Tampa Bay. The Angels beat the Rays 6-2. Garrett Richards over Kevin Jepson. Milwaukee now leading Washington 6-5 in the 8th inning. So they have come back from a 5-1 deficit.
In 2013, Cingrani made 18 starts, 5 relief appearances for the Reds, with 7-4 with a 292, and it looked like he was on his way.
Sharply hit bouncer to Suarez, the shortstop, high throw, tag applied by Votto.
And one time, justify a slide at first base. Tough to react and get down. See, by the time Russell realizes that Votto's off the base, he's really close to the base. And again, you always, boy, after seeing that Cozart injury yesterday, any play like this gets your attention, especially on a rainy night with a wet base. Last year, Cingrani struggled 2-8 with a 4.55. This year, exclusively out of the bullpen. Had some control issues, 17 walks this year in 22 1/3 innings. A 3rd round pick in 2011, 25 years of age, so still figuring it out.
Line into right. Let's hear from Joe Maddon. Just kind of get into his brain a little bit after a loss, after a win. He's got a 30-minute rule.
I never want our guys to carry, especially bad, into the clubhouse the next day. You can carry good, and that's fine. But just don't be bringing bad vibes into the clubhouse because we had a bad day the day before. I think that's where a lot of groups go wrong, when you want to carry something negative or a defeat from the day before into the next day. Leave it in the past, man. It serves no really good purpose. I've been on teams that I really thought were negatively impacted just by that. The fact that you just couldn't drop it. Just could not take that rock and maybe drop it in the nearest lake. Just leave it alone. You don't need it.
Just take that rock and drop it in the nearest lake. He talked before the game about how loose the guys were before the game last night. That came after a 6-0 loss the night before.
Yeah, the old cliche in baseball is don't get too high, don't get too low. It's a long season, and there's lots of peaks and valleys. I think Joe's philosophy is go ahead and get as high as you want to get. Psychologically, we've had this conversation before.
You said something similar.
Yeah. But so be excited with the wins, have a lot of fun with it, but as he said, take that loss and just put it behind you and move on. I've been on teams where there's a lot of false somberness, if that's a word, in the clubhouse. After a tough loss, everybody sits and hangs their head in the locker. You're told the minute you enter professional baseball that it's an everyday grind, win or lose. You got to turn the page and move on to the next day. And it's almost laughable sometimes, the reaction in some clubhouses after a loss. The guys sit around with their head down and everything's really quiet. It's not football. It's not a once-a-week enterprise. It's every single day.
Yep.
And you'll hear from a lot of people outside of the game, oh, that must have been a crushing defeat. What was the mood on the plane? It must have been horrible. And, win or lose, these guys
the same.
Yeah, they got the music rocking, and it's let's go get them tomorrow.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. And 2 outs.
That's the challenge against Cingrani, to lay off that high fastball. A little low, 3/4 arm angle. He slings it up there.
Well, I will say this, and we've been around Joe for about 3.5 months, including spring training, and all has gone pretty well. But even in some stretches during which the team hasn't played that well, he's been the same guy every day, and I think that consistency works really well. We'll end the inning. We will go to the 9th. It'll be Hector Rondon, and it will be a save chance. 6-3. stand 4 versus Cincinnati, 2 against Cleveland. And so far so good, leading 6-3. And here is Hector Rondon.
Looking to finish off this game and looking to finish off what has been a very solid performance by the Cubs bullpen here tonight. 5 innings of 1-hit shutout ball so far from the bullpen.
Well, and because he has struggled lately, Jason Mott is getting loose. His name is Jason Mott. Tonight his name could be Justin Case.
Travis Wood 2 1/3. Grimm went 2/3 of an inning. Russell and Strop an inning each.
Ball 1 to Brian Pena, batting lefty.
Grimm, Russell, and Strop very efficient. Got 8 outs. Only 27 pitches combined.
Lined left field. Coughlin's there. 2 pitches, 1 out.
Rondon falling right in line. Aggressive, attacking Pena. Hector backing off a little bit, sacrificing a little velocity to find the strike zone. There's fastball at 93, maybe a little cutter. Looks for a cutter every now and then. When he turns it loose, he's 97, 98 with that fastball.
Dominguez homered earlier. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Nice pitch.
The last hit for the Reds came in the 5th inning. Last base runner was the De Jesus single to lead off the 5th. 14 in a row have now been retired by the Cubs bullpen. Suarez, the shortstop. 0-1.
There really hasn't been a situation since that 4th inning where you really felt like the Reds were in a position to put any pressure on the Cubs. And these relievers have been so efficient, all but Wood. Probably pitching the ball game tomorrow. Grimm's worked a couple days in a row, so he might be off.
18-game season series. The Cubs with a chance to start at 5-1 versus these Reds. Russell can't get it. Base hit for Suarez. Is his first hit with the Reds.
Skip Schumacher going to pinch hit here. That was a good pitch by Rondon, though. Fastball down and away. Suarez just able to find a little hole there on the right side.
1-0 on the veteran Schumacher. Bounce to first. Rizzo has it. To the bag. Cubs win. Cubs win 6-3 the final. The bullpen tremendous tonight. Wood, Grimm, Russell, Strop, Rondon. They only gave up 1 hit combined over the final 6 innings.
Very impressive work. Nice start to this homestand after a nice finish to the road trip. Cubs thumped the Tigers last night, and pretty easy win here tonight. Big home run from Montero early. Great work by the bullpen. Very nice night.
2 hits combined. Wood allowed 1, and then Rondon the single to Suarez. Good start to the homestand. The Cubs have now won 2 in a row for the win in Detroit last night, and here tonight a T-Mobile game changer. Miguel Montero, he's hit 3-run homers in each of these last 2 games.
He'd been in a pretty good funk, but big night last night with 3 hits, including the home run, and a very good night here tonight. That home run, he also got a base hit his last time up.
So the Cubs now 16-11 here at Wrigley Field, 15-13 against their own division. Johnny Cueto tomorrow and Jason Hamill. That should be fun.
Yeah, 2 of the top guys in the National League to this point in the season, both with very low earned run averages. The Cubs obviously have seen a whole lot of Johnny Cueto over the years. Jason Hamill with a couple really good starts on this last road trip.
And Kelly is with Miguel Montero.
Yeah, Miguel Montero getting the scoring started tonight for the Cubs. Your second 3-run shot in as many nights. You said to me before the ball game, it's about being aggressive for you, but the biggest difference right now for you at the plate.
Yeah, no, definitely feel a lot better. Since yesterday, I just made a little tweak on my swing, or just the way I'm thinking, and it's been working, you know. So try to stay there as much as possible and long as possible. So it's a good win.
6 scoreless innings out of your bullpen tonight. Not ideal for such a long stretch of games, but for them to be able and not really let the Reds in this game at all, how important was that?
No, it's big. It's huge. Obviously, when you play a game like this, you got the lead early, you don't want to lose it. And, you know, obviously, you got to use what you got to use. And you figured out tomorrow what's going to happen. So you got to win today to worry about tomorrow.
Well said. Enjoy this one, Miggy.
Thank you.
There you guys go. Miguel Montero, a 3-run shot, second night in a row, 2 for 3 his line as the Cubs pull this one off tonight.
Thank you, Kelly. Binny's Beverage Depot toast of the game, and we're going to give it to that bullpen here tonight.
And it ended with Rondon, and you know, he picks things up a little bit tonight too. Used the slider. I don't know what that last pitch was. A little off speed, some kind of a changeup or a split finger pitch. But as he tries to rehabilitate himself, solid work from him, Strop, Russell, Grimm, and Wood in support of Yoshi Wada.
So that'll wrap up our coverage from the ballpark, but more to come on our Cubs coverage tonight. Final score from Wrigley Field: Cubs 6, Reds 3. Join us this coming Tuesday on CSN Plus, 6:30 for our pregame coverage. First pitch just after 7. The Cubs hosting the Indians to wrap up the homestand. Now for JD and our entire crew here at Wrigley Field, Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned for Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post game live.